Alright, so look. When Layer 2 dropped, Deepwoken added a brand new talent mechanic called Trace, defining how tanky or how damagey a build can be. Now, most people at the time would go usually proficiency, erudition, and vitality, and for good reason. It gave health, it gave ether, and it gave M1 damage, or so people thought. But anyways, rarely ever you'd see anyone go Song Chant, as its buff was only 5% damage per point, and it might have not even worked based on how much damage you were actually doing after the Song Chant was added. To combat this, they gave each Song Chant point 5% pen, bringing it back into the meta and being used on most PvP builds to this day. But there is one trait that has been used less and less since the game has been updated, and is now rarely ever used, only being viable for PvE build, and that trait is proficiency. Now, what proficiency is supposed to do is increase your M1 scaling by 5%. Now, this sounds nice, but at 30%, it makes the difference of around 3 to 5 M1 damage. Now, remember, this is 30%, so this is at 6 proficiency, basically wasting all your points. Now, this is very bad, and basically nobody uses proficiency now, even to this day. Even Silent Heart builds that are whole based around M1s rarely ever use proficiency. So what if they gave proficiency the same treatment as Song Chant, giving each proficiency trait 5% pen? Could this bring proficiency back into the current meta of Deepwoken, or would it be too broken and too brain dead, resulting in more unbalance on certain builds? To find an answer, we must look at the maximum potential for penetration. If we take a 3-star Shadow Katana with pen, we would have a base pen of 44%. Then we bring in external factors such as 100 strength, Thresher Claws, Million Sun Piercer, Piercing Will, and Cheap Shot. We can get up to 99% pen without any proficiency. Now, let's say they did make the change and we had 6 proficiency on a build. You would have a build that can get up to 129% pen and 89% pen against reinforced armor. Now, obviously, some of the pen does require you to do certain things to reach 129% pen. For example, Piercing Will requires you to have around level tier 3 sanity, which a lot of people are just not going to do. But you could still get around 99% passive pen if this change was added into the game. Now, these numbers can get a lot higher if we take bullets or armor piercer into the mix, but that's a whole different story. Now, the main complication that does come with if they added this into the game is once you reach over 140% pen, it becomes basically useless, as anything more than 100% wouldn't increase the damage as you're already doing true M1 damage. So would this change make builds brain dead? I think not, because technically you could already get these high amounts of pen. One thing I did not mention is the Seer enchant, which gives around 40% pen if you land enough hits with it. I mean, you could actually get these numbers even higher than what was calculated in this video. The main point of adding this into the game is giving builds that have a lot less pen and do a lot less damage the option to go proficiency, prioritizing their M1s over their mantras. Probably this might also heavily reduce the amount of mage builds in the game, as this is just an external buff to M1 based builds. Subscribe to the channel, join Discord, follow me on Twitter, and like the video.